Humans love clean answers. We love to know exactly how we feel and exactly what something means. But life is almost never that simple. And insisting that it should be is one of the quietest ways we make ourselves suffer. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. All or nothing thinking is one of the most common cognitive patterns I see in the women I work with, and it's also one of the most costly. Either I'm doing this perfectly or I failed. Either this relationship is good or it's bad. Either I'm healthy or I'm not. Either I feel confident about this decision or I should not make it at all. We collapse complexity into binaries because binaries are easier for our brains to manage. They require less from us. They give us a clear answer. But they also require us to ignore enormous amounts of nuance. And in doing so, they cut us off from the truth of our actual experience. The truth of your actual experience is almost always messier than a binary. It is almost always both and, not either or. I can be deeply grateful for my life and also exhausted by it at the same time. Both are true. I can love someone completely and also need distance from them. Both can be true. I can be excited about a change and also terrified of it simultaneously. I can feel proud of something I did and also see clearly where I fell short. I can be committed to my health and also have a hard week where almost none of my habits show up. All of these things can be simultaneously true. And the moment I stop demanding that only one of them be true, I stop fighting reality. I stop trying to resolve the tension and start learning to hold it. Holding tension sounds terrible, right? But it's not terrible. It is one of the most sophisticated emotional capacities a human can develop. So I'm going to read you some other dualities, both and statements, just to give you some breadth of how big this can be, because it shows up everywhere. It shows up in our identity. I love being a mother, and I'm ready to discover who I am beyond motherhood. I can be deeply content and deeply ambitious. I know myself better than ever, and I still have a lot to learn. It can show up in our body and health story. I appreciate my body, and I want to care for it better. My body's changing, and it's still worth love and respect. Aging is a privilege, and grieving what has changed is natural. It shows up in relationships all the time. I love my partner, and there are things that need to change. I can have compassion and love for someone and set firm boundaries. I can forgive and choose not to reconnect. It can show up in your career and purpose. I'm proud of what I've accomplished and I'm ready for a new chapter. I can be successful and really uncertain of what's next. I can be a beginner again and bring decades of wisdom with me. I mean, I could go on and on. It shows up in money, right? I can be grateful for what I have and desire greater financial freedom. I can be generous with others and prioritize my own financial security. Life is a both and, not an either or. There is real kindness in embracing both. And I want to sit with that for a minute. When you allow yourself to hold complexity, you extend yourself a level of grace that black and white thinking never can. You stop having to be one thing. You stop having to have it all figured out, and you stop having to perform certainty that you don't feel. You can be a work in progress and also be someone who's come a long way. You can be struggling in one area and thriving in another. You can be uncertain about the future and also trust yourself to handle it. Both and is not a compromise. It is actual truth. And living from the actual truth rather than from the simplified version your brain finds more comfortable is really just so honest and health promoting. So the next time you find yourself trying to reduce something complicated into a simple either or, pause and ask yourself, what are both things that are true here? What is the and in this situation? Because life is not a multiple choice test with one right answer. It's rich, complex, and contradictory. And the more you can hold that complexity with curiosity, rather than trying to collapse it into something really overly simplified, the more fully you'll actually be living your life. I work through this kind of complexity out loud every Tuesday in my Substack in a live series I called Live the Code Live. It's 20 minutes or less behind the scenes of my own both and moments. So if you want to check it out, you can find me at A Little Bit of Grace and Grit over on Substack, or just search my name on Substack, Courtney Townley. I hope to see you there. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.